Nobody likes to ask themselves the difficult questions in life, but it's only natural that at some point in your career as a small creator, you're going to have to sit down and think about what happens if you don't make it. More specifically, if you're trying to take content creation full time, what do you do if, and statistically, when, you aren't able to do that? And I don't say this to try and bring the mood down or to dishearten you. I really think that if you believe that you can do this, you should keep going. You should push and fight as much as you can to try and make this a reality. But you have to be aware of the statistics. There are hundreds of thousands of small YouTube channels that are uploading consistently and trying to make it big. And of those channels, only a very, very small percentage actually get there. So, as much as I believe in myself, as much as I believe in all of you, statistically, we probably aren't going to be in that lucky few. So it's really important for us to know what we're going to do when that reality comes to pass. For some people, this is nice and simple. There are a lot of folks that work full-time and simply do YouTube on an evening or on a weekend. So for them, if they're unable to make it as a full-time creator, they just continue on with their full-time jobs. And that is a perfectly good plan. You already have that security, and you are going to be able to maintain that if you don't make it to where you want to be as a creator. And you know what? Having a stable 9-to-5 career to fall back on is actually probably the best position you can be in. Because obviously depending on the specific nature of the job, but like generally speaking, a corporate 9-to-5 job is a lot more secure than being a creator, especially if you haven't made it to the point of doing creation full-time. If you're able to have a predictable, steady income, that is ideal. So if you're not in the position where you have that for whatever reason, then I think it's important to start looking, to start pursuing that income. And I know it's a really difficult one to want to do, right? Because the more time you spend looking for work, applying for jobs, actually working, the less time you spend making videos and working towards this goal that you want to achieve, this lifestyle that you're yearning for. And you know, the less time that you're able to give to making videos, the less likely you are to have a video that gets you to where you want to be. It's a really difficult thing to balance, and I understand not wanting to sacrifice the time that you're giving to creation to try and get a job that you may not want as much as content creation. But being a full-time creator or pursuing a full-time career in content creation, it's a risky game. And that's not to say that going into a traditional 9-to-5 is not also a risky game. I know that, at least where I live at the minute, the job market is not the most secure it's ever been. It's not the easiest thing in the world to get into a job, especially depending on what industry you want to go in. And if you don't have any prior work experience, it's even harder. So I'm not saying that getting into a traditional job is easier necessarily than getting into content creation. I'm just saying that statistically, you are more likely to get a livable wage and a consistent, steady wage from that career path. Some of you might be like me. You might be in full-time education, which is why you don't have a job and you're trying to spend all of your spare time making YouTube a job. And while it may seem like getting an education is enough steps to be taking to ensure that you have a safety net if the YouTube game fails, but I know this from my experience, just because you're doing a degree, for example, like I am, does not mean it's easier to get a job. I was supposed to do a sandwich course. I was supposed to do 2 years of study, 1 year working in industry, and then my final year of study. And I applied for no less than 50 placement schemes. And I got offered jobs at none of them. Not a single one. And now I'm in my final year of university, so I'm applying for graduate schemes. I am looking at jobs that I can start pretty much as soon as I graduate to ensure that I have a steady income stream ready for me. And so far, I have been accepted onto none of those either. It's not easy. So while it may seem that being at university or in college or sixth form or whatever educational institute you are in, while it may seem like that is enough, there are definitely steps that you can, and I personally believe absolutely should be taking to help secure your future. Because it's all well and good looking at the crazy amounts of money that people can make from YouTube and thinking, once I hit it big, I'll be fine. I know that I personally have fallen into this a couple of times before, but getting to that point, it is an uphill battle, my friends. And even getting to the point where YouTube would pay equal to a full-time job, that is hard. And again, I know this from my experience. I'm monetized, I have a Patreon page, and yet my YouTube channel, my YouTube career, is bringing in significantly less than even a part-time job would be. And the beautifully frustrating thing about that is, I am putting way more time into YouTube than I would be a part-time job. It is the only thing that I think about, but that's just the nature of the beast. You can put all of your time and effort and thoughts and money into YouTube, and you're still not guaranteed to make it. Which is why you need to prepare to fail. Which sounds backwards, I understand that. It sounds wrong, and it almost sounds defeatist, right? But you need to have a solid plan in place for if and when you don't get to be a full-time creator. For me, I'm getting a degree and I'm applying to as many graduate jobs as I can. If I don't get onto a graduate scheme, as soon as I graduate, I can just start looking for regular work, for jobs that I can start pretty much immediately. I have plans in place and in motion to ensure that if this doesn't work, I will be okay. I will be secure and I will have a livable income. And no matter what form your plan takes, it's really, really crucial that you have that plan. Because as much as being a full-time creator would give us the life that we desperately want, that doesn't mean we should completely neglect and sacrifice the life we do have. We need to take care of ourselves. We need to make sure that if we aren't able to make it, we are still going to have a way of staying alive. Which may seem dramatic, but at the end of the day, I'm a small creator. It's in our blood to be a little bit dramatic. So if you don't have a plan for what happens if YouTube doesn't become your full-time job, please, I beg this of you, sit down either by yourself or with a significant other or with someone that you trust and that knows you, and plan. Think about your skills, what options and opportunities you have open to you, and start building the foundations of a career path other than YouTube. Because if you aren't able to do YouTube full-time, you'll feel a hell of a lot better about it knowing that you have that safety net there. Stay safe, stay prepared, and have those difficult conversations with yourself. Future you will only thank you for it.